corporate video, as it's being portrayed at events like NAB and InfoComm, is a complete myth. It doesn't really exist. They have simply taken their tech portfolio and lifted it up and pivoted over to a new audience and slapped a new label on it and said, hey, this is corporate video. At NAB, they said 13% of the people who were attending had flagged corporate video in one of the check boxes that they were interested in. But for anyone who actually walked every hall and saw every booth, and I will claim that I actually walked past every booth and I inspected every sort of category ahead of time, the numbers were slightly better, but certainly not 13% in terms of solutions that were suitable for it. The question of like, what do we need to do, or what do tech manufacturers, systems integrators need to do? And the first thing is to acknowledge that the way that is being addressed so far is simply it's a band-aid to try to shore up for the losses in the traditional M&E industry. And that if you're going to be successful in the corporate video industry, enterprise video, then you need a whole different approach, because a law firm doesn't care about what kind of codec you're using. A healthcare provider doesn't care about the frame rate or the storage capacity or whatever it may be. They have other business objectives. And if you can't understand what they are and your technology can't address those, then you're not in the corporate video business. You're still in the media tech business trying to push a square peg into a round hole.
That's a great answer, Eivind. And many years ago, I was in a very large optical networking organization. And for the first time, I saw a company that had employed real post-production people working toward outcomes. And you're right, if I recall, and they're the ones who taught me how to do post-production work. I was just curious. But as I watched what they were doing, they did have very different outcomes than what we would see with our traditional M&E customers. And you're right, arguing about the codecs or arguing about those other things didn't quite seem to be it. It was more about the product. And in this case, we're talking about large, very expensive optical networking equipment and how best to capture it in its different facets to achieve some sort of resonance with whoever was watching the video. So you're right, they've got a very different outcome in mind. You have to have something that suits the outcome that they're looking for and that they can use.
I'll be on the side of this. The same solutions work, but what I think I'm hearing from you, Eivind, is they do have different needs, but there's still some fundamental technical similarities. That user experience may need to be different, but a lot of the underlying technologies I'm assuming are still going to need to be the same in terms of they're still going to have requirements for data storage access. Maybe they don't care about codecs, but they still care about that while they're doing whatever editing that they're doing, it's not bumpy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So a lot of those fundamentals, and so some of the technical challenges that have been solved by data storage companies like OpenDrives or whoever along the way are still things that, they still need these solutions, but maybe they need to be packaged differently. And maybe that end user experience needs to be a little bit different.